Hi, in 2021, now let's see how many years ago, that was quite some time ago, I was cast as Rosa Congemi in a wonderful series called Sitting on a Hill.
Keep fucking laughing, idiot. You'll need a sense of humor in your new lonely life. You pig.
And when I got to the location, they said, hair is ready for you. Oh, hair is ready for you. So you put your stuff in your trailer and you go running to hair, and then you walk up 2 steps and you go into the hair trailer and you meet a person. You pray to God that this person is a good hair person. You also pray to God they're nice people, because you never know. Well, today we are so fortunate because with us today is Dennis Bailey, who was the hair person, the head hair person on 3 years of City on a Hill. And he did my hair all the time that I was in. And I learned so much from him about what happens in the hair department. And so here he is to tell everybody who comes in like I came in, to come in, you're ready for hair, come in and sit down, you don't know anything. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Dennis Bailey the Great.
Hi.
Hi.
Great to be here. Thank you for inviting me to do this. Well, before we become a part of the show, we have to interview. And, you go into this interview and they ask you all the different questions about, what would you do in a trailer? What would you
do in the trailer?
What would you do? What would you do? Like, how would you run the trailer? They want to know how you would manage your trailer. How would you manage your team?
Now you see, that's very important.
Because you're saying you're asking what it takes before we even get into the trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
So we get this interview, and everything goes well. You get the job, and then we get the characters. We read the script. You see what you have an idea of what each character is going to look like in your head. We have a production meeting, a hair and makeup meeting, and we talk about what each character is going to look like. We partially design it, and then
really? You design it?
Pretty much, yes. Pretty much, we think about what your hair is going to look like, given what makeup is going to do with your face and what wardrobe is going to do with your clothing, and then it all comes together once we meet you, because we sometimes don't have a person to fit the character yet.
It hasn't been
cast or anything. So once you're cast, then we have this consultation with you in the chair, and we talked about what you think your character would look like, and then what we think your character would look like.
But the producers, don't they have something to say? The producers,
absolutely.
directors?
Producers, directors,
yeah.
Studios at the time. And then we go into we do a camera test, and that's where everybody gets to see what you look like.
So funny, because when we did a pilot first in Boston, and I was wearing curlers, and this was 1970 something or other.
Your character?
Well, the whole thing was happening in 1970.
No, it was 1990s.
1990s. Well, there you go. I thought it was 70. Great shape. But you had to have the right curlers. That was the other thing. You can't have curlers from, which I didn't know that either.
Oh no, everything has to be of the period, because it can definitely throw off the story if you see something, if it's supposed to be 1990s.
Tell everybody the thing that you told me about, the new generation.
Oh, well, some, not all, but it's a lot of the times you see now people are more interested in what the hairstyle will look like. I'm more of like a department head that I'm telling a hair story as the script is telling the story, as the actors are telling the story, as everybody is telling the wardrobe, makeup, everybody collaborates to tell the story. So there's a hair story, there's a makeup story, there's a wardrobe story, there's a set story. There's all these storylines within the same story that's telling the whole story, the whole picture as a whole. So it's very important to me that each hairstyle match each scene and match what, you know, the storyline is. And so if the character doesn't require a change, then I don't change the hairstyle. So sometimes it throws me off when I'm seeing all these different changes in the hair and it doesn't make sense to the story.
He said the most interesting thing to me the other day about that he could turn off the sound. Right.
Yes. Like I would sometimes, if I'm watching a TV show or I'm watching a movie, and I could turn off the sound and just watch the hair, and I'll know what the story is about.
Can you imagine that?
And I'll know what the story is about. But that's what I would like to do. You know, and I think it's interesting. You should be when we take continuity pictures, right? And I'm flipping through the continuity pictures through each scene. I can actually watch the movie as I'm going through the continuity pictures, because the pictures, you know, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, the hair tells what's going on in those scenes.
Because it's to me, it was very interesting. Jill had the character that was first kind of a milquetoast person, and she, in the 3 years, she grew into a wonderful lady. And there were scenes where, you know, she was in bed, or she was, you know, kind of like in the beginning, she was like, and her hair changed, particularly as she grew up.
As she grew, because you have to show, because her character kind of grows in her confidence in how she is throughout the whole series. So hair, makeup, wardrobe, all have to reflect that.
And then when we had the fight scene,
my God. You've been the fear of my whole fucking life. What Dad did, that happened, and it ended. But you were there every fucking day. They should put you in Bridgewater. You're not running out on me.
How early do you have to get there in the morning, and how late do you stay?
Oh my, we're the first ones to get there.
Really?
First ones we have to be, because we have to prep all the actors, you know. So it's we start before, you know, crew call.
Then besides you being there at dawn, how late do you have to stay?
Well, we're usually there like 12 to 14 hours a day.
Do you get overtime?
Yeah, you get overtime.
Oh, good. It has to be, in other words, when you go into the trailer, it's kind of fun. I mean, because you're makeup person and your hair person, and, you know, you're friends by the time you've been there for as much time.
We've been spending so much time together.
We just know everything. We know all the gossip and everything. Well, anyway, it's fun, but every once in a while, something happens that makes that space not good.
I think it's when you're in the trailer and when you have actors in the trailer, it's very important to be mindful of what you say. One of the actors' hair, he had an afro and it was a little bit too big for a hat. Person came in and was asking if we could just pat his afro down, and I was like, no, we can't pat his afro down because it doesn't work that way. For the, you know, in order for the hat to fit, we'd have to cut it down. We'd have to cut it, and the actor couldn't cut his hair because he was doing something else. So I kindly asked the person to step outside the trailer with me, and we had a conversation. I said, next time, please, let's just have this conversation between us and not in front of the actor, because now he can be, you know, self-conscious about his hair. You got to understand that everybody has their job to do, and you have to make sure that they're comfortable to do that. So it's just very important. You know, it's just very important. I'm there to make you feel comfortable.
And you always did. You're so funny.
You know,
we always laughed. We had such good laughs, and then you would appear. Then they would say, "Okay, something about camera ready," and you'd all be sitting there on the set.
Yes.
So you'd have to see this thing 9,000 times, and you'd be sitting there. And I thought, God, that must be boring.
It's not though. It's fun. You know, it's fun. It's actually it's fun to watch the process happen.
I just remember that we just had, and when Dennis said that he would do this, he arrived this morning, and my hair looked awful, and I said, "Would
It
you
didn't look bad.
mind?
It didn't look
Would
that
you
bad. It didn't
mind?"
look that bad.
And he did a
I just
magic.
did a little touch up.
He did a little magic thing, and I thought, God, it is like, because my hair was supposed to look like, what's his name's mother? Scorsese.
Mhm.
I saw the picture of his mother, and I thought, I'm supposed to look like that? My goodness. So they didn't want me to look what I thought originally I wanted to look like. Tom said that was not what they wanted. So they wanted me to look like I was in my schmuck all the time, and my hair, but my hair was always nice. It really was. It was always nice. As a matter of fact, I thought the look in the last scene that I did was too fancy, and I felt it was because it started with the clothes and everything, but it doesn't matter because it was the end of the thing. But it was an interesting process to see how all of the technical people, I was amazed because Dennis came to town a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lovely dinner, and he said he was going to go to work the next day. And they haven't shot anything. So can you say?
With any job, it depends on if you're doing a really period piece. What I call period pieces it's anything from 90s up, like 90s, 80s, 1920s, 30s, or whatever. You have to have prep time because a lot of the actors or even background are not going to have period hair, so you have to get all these wigs prepped for that. So it's a lot of prep work. There's a lot of prep work that you have to do. So this one that I'm getting ready to start right now is like we've been prepping for. I've been prepping for 5 days, but the department head has been prepping for months.
Months?
Yeah.
Why would it be months?
So it's because it's you have to have wigs made.
Made?
Yes, you have to have wigs made. And
oh my gosh! So in other words, these wigs are not.
No. You have to have them custom made, and it takes time. Every department that has to make the movie have to prep, and it takes a long time.
Because when I did City on a Hill, we had the read through in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I was playing a character that was just, I didn't have to have I had the wigs and stuff, and in Boston I had to have the hair curlers, but
yeah.
And they were so mad that I didn't bring that stuff back from Boston. The lady who was helping you said, they didn't bring those hair curlers. They were so great, and they were great hair curlers.
Okay.
But and then we started here. I don't understand the background because all I know is that the people who do all of the magic stuff that you guys do,
Mm-hmm.
particularly the makeup, because you did marvelous things, but when the makeup happens and they have to make a person, I'm older anyway, but somebody who's playing a part who wants to look younger,
Mm-hmm.
that's a hard job. To make some women look younger when they would like to look younger.
And that's why we have fabulous makeup artists.
Yeah. The one who was really amazing was that guy who did Snark or Snur or whatever he was in the movie
Lord of the Rings?
Yes. God, he was marvelous.
Yeah.
He had to do that for I don't know how long, crawling around with those things on him. And that was pretty amazing because that was a character.
Mm-hmm.
He should have won an award for that. But anyway, we're off the hair. And we don't want to be off the hair. But there's so many things that I just feel that we as actors should start beginning to know. And that is that when we come in and we sit in the chair, the person didn't just start that minute. They've been working on this for quite some time. And you can't take it for granted. You know, they say, well, how do you see this? They say, how do you see it? Because they're being charming and wonderful, but they've already decided how you were going to see it. You're going to see it this way because that's what I'm going to make you do. And anyway, but I mean,
I would say it's more of a collaborative thing. Yes,
Yes.
we have an idea. We have an idea of what this character is supposed to look like, and sometimes you might say something that tweaks it a little bit, you know, or tweaks it a lot. So you know, it's a collaborative thing. I'm not. I know, you know, it's not unless the director or producers
demanded it.
want you to have this,
Yeah.
and then it's out of our hands.
Yeah.
This is what they want you to look like.
Yeah.
So we have to do that.
There's nothing else that they can do if that happens. But it was what happened to me in the very beginning when the costume lady and I were collaborating on this wonderful character, because I was playing in my head a friend of mine who wore high heels, tight jeans, boobs were up to her neck, and she'd walk around like this all the time. And I thought, that's the woman I'm playing. And Tom Fontana called me up and he said, Catherine, I don't think that's what we want. I said, whatever you want, I'm ready. I was not going to say, I'm sorry, but this is what I'm doing.
Right.
But it really, you have to have the collaboration because otherwise. But ladies and gentlemen, next time you walk into the hair truck, which I said truck, it's a trailer, look around, and then you should also say, the last one that I was on, I knew such and such, and all of these guys know each other because when I did FBI Most Wanted, whatever his name is knew you. And everybody, oh, you're with him, oh, he's great, or whatever it is, and it makes it more, it makes the whole thing much easier as far as I'm concerned. You want it easy in the trailer, which is what you said.
Yes, this is the first place you come to in the morning, and you want to breathe, whatever you need to do to get into your mode of acting, acting. So
And they bring you coffee, they bring you breakfast,
all that
which
stuff.
I didn't do this morning, which I should have done because it's terrible that I didn't do that. But I mean, it's really, what is it? When you're relaxed, what it's called, when you go to a place to get a, well, anyway, it should be like that. And then you go back to your trailer with your hair and your makeup and your clothes. And then you, as a performer, you're ready because you've been helped by these people. So it's really important to remember. And we are so lucky that Dennis was so good because he's working, of course. He always works. Nothing else but working for him.
And knock on wood and keep that going.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think that's so wonderful. And keep coming back to the United States, to New York. Because it's nice to have Dennis here and we can have chats and things like that, and we can reminisce about some of the things we liked and some of the things we did not like. Anyhow, we had a good time. And this for me has been wonderful because I want people to know when you go to the trailer and you sit in that chair, these people know what they're doing. And just give them the opportunity to help you help yourself. Dennis, thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine. This is really, really nice. I appreciate you having me here.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely. We're so lucky.